So, we're going to get Yunli soon, and we're getting the preview for her, which is fair enough. I like her as a character so far from what we've seen, but she is an easy skip for me. The person who I expect to be the special guest for her program is either going to be Jing Yuan or it's going to be Yang Jing, because both of them are connected to her in different ways. More so Yang Jing because Jing Yuan is trying to force them together, and clearly that's not working, and good for her that it's not.
Introducing today's star, a girl known
Her
for
idol
her
animation is
startlingly
sweet, though.
insensitive
That's just the
nature.
one where
She
she
may be
sort the
young,
fly,
but
isn't
she's
it?
already experienced the highs and lows of life.
Define
Born into
young.
a renowned Xianzhou family of swordsmiths, her life took a tragic turn when her father forged a cursed heliobus sword, which resulted in a tragedy that claimed her parents' lives. Confronted with these drastic life changes, she accepted them with grace and determination, dedicating herself to eliminating the cursed swords and atoning for her father's sins. To date, she has successfully hunted down 312 cursed swords. Despite everything she's been through, she still maintains her innocent nature.
Aww.
She's outspoken, sometimes
How
to a
old is
fault,
she,
and
though?
She loves
Ah!
food, fun, and swords. Introducing the talented and radiant
That's cute as hell.
Swordmaster, Yunli.
Let's
And
go.
now, let's welcome today's guest, another talented swordmaster, Xing. This episode is so full of expertise,
Okay, fair enough.
feels like my presence is hardly needed.
Mr. Albert, you're always so modest. It's an honor for me to assist with commentating on sword moves, but in terms of hosting, you're absolutely the best.
What a kid! All youngsters raised by the Xianzhou generals are just so charming.
You're too kind.
Now let's learn more about Yunli. Yunli is a physical type character following the path of destruction who stands out from the crowd with her massive sword. Calling it a sword doesn't do it justice. It's huge, broad, and heavy.
Fly
It was more
killer.
like a huge chunk of iron.
Yunli can effortlessly lift 1,000 pounds. Her strength is definitely impressive.
How?
But when it comes to swordplay, it's not just about brute strength.
When using her basic attack, Yunli moves with her sword, dealing physical damage based on her attack to the target enemy.
Yeah, you should know what failure's like,
When
Yang
using her
Jing.
skill, Yunli
When you
charges
say it's
the
not
sword
enough.
and throws it with great force, restoring a portion of her HP based on her attack, and deals a heavy blow, causing physical damage to the target and adjacent enemies based on her
Basically,
attack.
with this girl existing, she makes
This
Clara
sword can
completely
also be
obsolete.
used as a boomerang?
Any normal person wouldn't, nor would a typical swordmaster. But considering old metal is sacrificing speed for inertia, it's a valid strategy, I guess.
Oh, metal?
That's the giant sword's name.
That's pretty appropriate.
Don't be
Thanks to
rude,
Yunli's
bird.
talent, she regenerates energy after getting hit and counters immediately. She swings old metal to hit the attacker and adjacent enemies, dealing physical damage based on her attack. That's what I call payback.
Yunli doesn't hold grudges. She's quick to resolve things. What I mean is, she's all about settling the score right away.
You got that right. When Yunli uses her ultimate, Yunli feigns retreat to gain parry.
Cool.
This taunts all enemies until the end of the next
The
unit's
animation was
turn.
pretty.
Seems like this battle-ready stance is more powerful than the defensive one just now.
Exactly. When Yunli is in a parry state and is attacked, she removes parry and counters with Intuit Call.
Sweet.
This not only deals physical damage to the enemy and adjacent targets based on her attack, but also hits a random enemy multiple times with physical damage based on her attack. If Yunli isn't attacked during the parry state, she will use Intuit Slash on the enemy when the parry state ends. Intuit Slash deals physical damage to a random enemy and their adjacent targets based on her attack. Both Intuit Call and Intuit Slash are considered as ultimate damage.
Yunli is great at using old metal's weight to turn defense into offense. This is completely opposite to my style of using a light sword.
You two have such distinct approaches to sword fighting. Now, I'm really curious.
Yang Jing's
If you
literally
two
only
duel
usable
for a
with an
few
amazing
rounds,
shielder.
who would win?
Obviously me.
No.
But who can say for sure until we get
No.
in the ring?
Not taking the bait, huh?
She doesn't lose power
After unlocking a
to
specific trait,
absolutely
while
any
Yunli is in a parry
touch.
state, she can reduce
So
incoming
no,
damage by a certain
not
percentage
you.
and resist crowd control debuffs.
If you're serious about practicing defensive counters, then you need to be as prepared as Yunli.
After Yunli uses her technique, she gains ward for a certain duration. If she is attacked or actively attacks during this period, she will instantly use Intuit Call on a random enemy with boosted damage.
Okay.
I read about this move in a book. It focuses on countering rather than speed.
That sword is way too heavy. I'm not surprised it can't move quickly.
I once suggested she lighten her sword a bit. She told me I didn't appreciate the sword's personality. So she said she was going to rescue the swords in my collection.
In conclusion, as a character following the path of destruction, Yunli's core mechanic lies in her 3 counterattacks. Her talent counter, Intuit Slash, and Intuit Call. The last is the strongest of the 3, so it makes sense in real combat situations to ensure Yunli is attacked before her ultimate's parry state ends, in order to trigger Intuit Call and enhance her team's overall damage. Now let's dive into some real combat to gain a deeper understanding of how to trigger Intuit Call. Malefic Ape strikes first, targeting Yunli. She immediately counters, fully charging her ultimate's energy. Note that our allies and then the enemy will take their actions first. Although Yunli is ready to use her ultimate, its timing will significantly impact its damage output. If Yunli immediately uses her ultimate and enters the parry state with an ally acting next, Yunli will trigger into its slash. Even though 2 enemies take a heavy hit, they still manage to stand their ground. If Yunli bides her time and waits for the Trailblazer to use their skill and attack Malefic Ape, she can time her ultimate to enter the parry state just before the abundant sprite Golden Hound makes a move. Then, the Golden Hound will attack Yunli during parry, triggering her devastating Intuit Call.
She sounds like a character you can't really run on auto, because I don't think the AI would have in mind to time her attacks and ults like this. It by default use them as soon as they become available.
Can't stop in time and attacks Yunli, triggering Intuit Call for the 2nd time. Oh, Metal doesn't hesitate, taking Malefic Ape out of the game immediately. Whew. Word of advice: when you're out and about, don't provoke any sword masters, especially little ones who don't wear any shoes.
As long as I'm around, he'll be perfectly safe.
No.
No, that's reassuring. You know, if you 2 took on an apprentice, I bet one of you would train him hard, while the other would look after them, right?
When it comes to mentoring, I'm actually really worried.
Worried Yunli is gonna be too hard on them?
My main worry is that our training styles clash.
Clash? How so?
Yunli wants the apprentice to do 50 sets of strength exercises and run 3 miles every
Oh,
day.
much!
I prefer 10 sets of strength exercises and 15 miles of cardio. Neither of us can convince the other. Our apprentice is arriving soon, and we haven't finalized our training plan.
Poor
So
March.
you both like to train hard. Well, why not meet halfway and combine your training techniques?
Are you out for making March suffer?
We'll get the apprentice to do 50 sets of strength exercises and run 15 miles every day.
That poor apprentice really has it rough.
Poor March isn't for suffering. Oh well. She can't hate that much. She offers them boba tea, so, you know, it's fine, I guess. Poor girl. Either way, I'm looking forward to getting March home. This girl is a skip for me, but I have a strong appreciation for her. She basically makes Clara obsolete. So for players who don't have a good physical DPS option, she's at least a option for you. I would say that support characters are kind of where it's at once you've actually got a DPS of each element. The best thing you could probably do for your account at that point, unless the DPS is insane like Firefly was and like Acheron was, is to seek out any sort of support that will aid either them or general team comps. Which is why the Fox and Sparkle. This patch is gonna suck for me.